Hey everyone, Seth here. Today, I'm going over again my Branded Predaplant deck profile. I recently made a change, and by recently I mean today. I made a change to it that I think makes it way better and way more competitive, but this will be a go first deck only, meaning we're playing outside of defensive cards. We're playing mainly just go first stuff. So let's get right into the profile. We'll start with, it's mostly the same, so 3 copies of Orpha Scorpio, 2 Biplisp, 1 Clammy, 1 Cobra, 1 Sara, 1 Triantis, and then 2 Buffalicula. Let me get that moved a little bit. Alright, so this lineup never changed. It's still the same. So, other than the Biplisp count going down from 3 to 2. I moved it down to 2 because we have so many ways to get its effect in the graveyard. So I figured there's really no point in playing 3 if we have many ways to get it in the graveyard, which will get us its Rota effect. And then Buffalicula, I cut down to 2 because we have so many ways to search it. And then Triantis to 1 because it's kind of a dead card without this or any way to fuse it off. But it is still a pretty good card. That's it for the Predaplant monsters. Onto the spells and traps. We're playing 3 copies of Practice. That probably will not change in my current version. However, in ones that play like Aluber and Branded in Red, I don't think Branded Red's actually played. Maybe Branded Red. That will change to less than 3, probably even 1 actually. However, I just like Practice at 3, and I like this version a little bit better. 1 Predaprime Fusion. Again, probably won't change for a long while. It's a quick way to dodge impermanence, and also you can fuse on your opponent's turn or in the battle phase. Then 1 copy of Predaplanting. Again, none of this has really changed, although Predaplanting is a little bit more important too, because it can be used as a board breaker too. So I mean, again, it's a pretty nice card. Onto the branded stuff, we're playing 1 copy of Fallen of Albaz, and then 1 copy of Artifact Scythe. Don't worry about it just yet. We're playing 3 copies of Branded Fusion, and then 1 copy of Branded Expulsion. This is a common in Power of the Elements, and what it does is it unlocks this combo. It unlocks the Scythe lock. And in this deck, you only need to get Branded Fusion in your hand, plus your full Predaplant line, and you'll go full combo. And even then, you don't need your full Predaplant line. You just need to be able to get an extra fusion on board for you to use Expulsion. What Expulsion is you contribute a fusion monster, then target 2 non-fusion monsters that are banished and or in either graveyard. Special summon both monsters, 1 on each field. If you tributed a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz as material to activate this card, you can special summon both monsters to your field instead in defense position. That is insane. So you can 100% Scythe lock your opponent in game 1, and then you'll have more than enough follow-up to be able to OTK your opponent, because you'll be able to use your Mirror Jade to banish your Scythe in order to get your Alba Lenitus, and Alba Lenitus will search whatever fusion piece you need to close out game. So this combo is absolutely insane, and this has been, I think, labbed a few times before Power of the Elements released, but I realized that Branded Predaplant can make it, and it's insane. 2 copies of Edge Imp Chain, 2 copies of Poly, and then 3 copies of Fragile Patchwork. Again, this lineup will probably never change unless you want to cut it entirely, in which case you open up yourself a fair bit of room for the Despia package if you want to play it, or the Therion stuff if you really want to. However, I'm personally not a fan of the Therion stuff or the Despia stuff because I feel like it lowers your consistency way too much. And then your Fusion Destiny package, or your DPE package, which is your Celestial, your Plasma, and then your 2 Fusion Destinies. Again, if you can get it, get Dasher. It's easily better in almost every sense, so just get Dasher if you can. Then 1 copy of Called by the Grave, 2 Stop Hand Traps, 1 copy of Instant Fusion because it's a 1-card combo, 1 copy of Foolish Burial because it serves as Rhoda, and then 3 copies of Super Polymerization, and then to sort of finish out our deck, we have 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence as a defensive card. And some people think we're entering in a super poly-friendly format because we have a card like Garura, which really hurts other decks like Sprite, Sword Soul, basically any of the meta decks, really. So next, into our extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of Predaplant Ambulomoides. Again, the extra deck isn't really changed up much, so 1 Chimera Rafflesia, 2 Dragostapelia, 1 Trivia Veritum, 1 Starving Venom Predapower Fusion Dragon, and then into the branded stuff we have 1 Albion, 1 Lubellion, 1 Alba Lenitus, and then 2 copies of Mirror Jade, then 1 DPE, 1 Starving Venom, and then 1 Garura. Garura is actually a pretty nice card. It works pretty well in this deck. It's a dark attribute, which is always nice because you can summon Starving Venom too. And then we have other cards that interact well with darks. It requires 2 monsters with the same type and attribute, but different names. AKA, like, you can soak up, like, I think a Totally Awesome and, like, one of the other Aquas in Sprite. And then you can soak up, I think, Monk the Tenyi in Shishao in Sword Soul. And in Branded Despia, you can soak up one of the Masquerades and, like, shoot, oh my god, whatever other card because they don't usually end on double Masquerade, I believe. But they can do that, in which case you're just kind of screwed. But you also play Starving Venom, so again, that's a moot problem, really. So that's the extra deck. The only change is Garura, and Garura is so nice. Plus, when it gets sent to the graveyard, you can draw a card. So when you fusion summon like Dragostapelia, Trivi, or Predapower on the crackback, you can literally just draw a card too. It's insane. Garura is such a good card. Oh my god. Alright. Now I'm gonna show you the combo real quick, how we get to it, how we go about it. Again, I've been working on this today, so it's kind of brand new, it's kind of fresh. But for the side deck, if you want like my professional opinion, just do go second stuff, really. So like Ashes, I put in a copy of Snow to side out Scythe in game 2, because most likely your opponent is going to want to go on your turn 1, so you side in Snow. And I've been playing Snow over Romaran. I'm still trying it out. I don't know how I feel about it yet. 3 copies of Dark Ruler, and then, oh, my side deck is a little messed up here. And then 3 copies of Twin Twisters, so far we're at 9. And then 1 Token Collector for Sword Soul. Oh, that's actually a misprint, I think. Either that or I'm just tripping. Anyway, then 1 copy of Spider Orchid, because it can out floodgates like Skill Drain, and there can be only one. Other like big floodgates that are like the continuous spell and traps. I'm probably gonna find a replacement for this, but 3 copies of D-Barrier and then 1 copy of Reboot. I'd keep Reboot in because there's still like some pretty prevalent trap decks and it can stop D-Barrier. But for D-Barrier, I'd recommend playing like maybe a 3rd copy of Ash, and then maybe like 2 Nibiru's, or like 3 Nibiru if you have it. Any way to like basically give yourself a chance to play for your opponent's turn. So now I'm going to cut to basically the combo portion of this video. I'm going to show you the combo, how you establish it, and how you basically get it going. All right, so we're going to draw an opening hand of 5, and okay, we're going to reshuffle. Maybe I just didn't do it very good, so we'll just do quick pile shuffle of 8. So like I said, our Predaplant combo plus our Branded Fusion is essentially a full Scythe Lock combo with the ability to essentially just shut our opponent out of the game entirely. And I think as this combo is discovered more, it'll definitely be used more in Branded Despia builds. So we get our opening grip and full combo. All right. So we're gonna normal summon our copy of our, Jesus, what was that? Oh my God, normal summon your copy of Instant Fusion. Activate your copy of Instant Fusion. And with it, you'll be specialing out your ambulance, and then off ambulance, you'll actually have to add your copy of practice. All right. So now that you got yourself a copy of Branded Practice, we activate it. Then you special summon your copy of Orpheus Scorpio. And then you'll add your copy of Biplisp. Then you'll activate Scorpio, pitching the Biplisp from your hand in order to special summon the Predaplant from your deck. I recommend going for Chlamydo Sundew here. That's what I recommend. Because many people will think, oh, I can just stop you by like ashing your Orpheus. But if you go for if you end up going for climbing more often, people start thinking, oh, you're gonna go, because you have 2 ways now to get to Dragoscephala or Cobra from deck, and we're gonna use ambulance to target and then tribute the Scorpio and get ourselves our Cobra. And then we activate our Cobra effect, and with it we'll get a copy of Branded Fusion from our deck to our hand. And then from here we can activate our copy of Branded Fusion, sending our copies of Criminale ad Facto Sith and our Fawn of Albas. And then we basically go into our full branded line, which is just basically like the basic branded stuff you've seen before. So Albion effect now. We'll use it to banish Fawn of Albas from our graveyard and our Orpheus Scorpio from our graveyard. We'll put banish right there because we're not really using our EMZs all that much. We'll then summon ourselves a copy of Rebellion the Searing Dragon, and we'll activate its effect, pitching a copy of Super Poly in our hand, and we'll shuffle back Fawn of Albas and itself in order to summon ourselves a Mirror Jade. And now we actually have ourselves a pretty good play. We activate the effect of Chlamydo Sundew, and we'll fuse it with the ambulance itself and then the Cobra in order to make the Trivial Baritone. And then we can set planning and the super polymerization, because on our opponent's turn, using planning, we can send the copy of Biplisp, and then we'll get a card in the hand for super polymerization, which will be able to summon Garura. And then in the end phase, we can activate Oh my God, I forgot. Jesus, okay. I have no brain cells. Okay, summon Cobra in defense, and then fuse with Albion. Don't. Oh my God. All right, Albion effect now. And we'll get Branded Expulsion from the deck, and we'll set it to our field. Most opponents will not have seen this card because it was a comment that was not very hyped up from what I can tell. And so they'll read it and then they might remember the fact that you have Scythe in graveyard. So then in your standby phase, you can just shotgun Expulsion, tribute the Trivio Veritum, and then say they, and then you can summon back El Criminale, and then you can summon back the Bipless to their side of the field. That's their side of the field. Just say that for now. And then Scythe's effect activates, locking them out of the extra deck. Wait, is it both players? Nope, just your opponent. So you can still summon Garuba too, so just keep that in mind. And then say they start making a few plays, you know, or say they immediately just pass turn. Maybe set a few cards. You can activate yourself your Predaplanting in order to send your Bipless to the graveyard. And then all these have Predator counters, and then Bipless effect activates. And then you add yourself your copy of Buffalicula, and then you can activate your Mirror Jade effect now in order to send your copy of Alba Lenitus to banish your Scythe. And then Alba Lenitus effect activates, and then you can add yourself a copy of Fusion Destiny from your deck to your hand. And then this should be more than enough to essentially just game your opponent, because you draw for turn, chain, perfect. We can actually activate Super Polymerization, pitching the chain, fusing the Bipless and the Cobra together, and with it we'll make Chimera Rafflesia, and then we can activate the Bipless effect now in order to add ourselves a copy of Triantis from deck to hand. Alright, Triantis, and then we can scale our Buffalicula, scale our Triantis. We have our Pendulum scale set. We activate the Buffalicula effect. We fuse them into our copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and then Buffalicula can add Triantis back to our hand, so we have further discard fodder. And next we have Fusion Destiny, which will fuse ourselves, which will fuse Celestial and Plasma. Into our copy of, where is it? Here we go. Our copy of DPE. And then we switch Mirror Jade into attack. And then also you had Predaplanting in your graveyard too, so you could have banished that and popped anything your opponent had that might have scared you from like swinging the game or something like that. And then you even had Chain effect that I forgot to do. So you'll have more than enough resources to just blow your opponent out of the water. Say they normal summoned a Sword Soul monster, you can banish it with Chimera Rafflesia, and then this should be more than enough for game. There's 25, 28, 25, and then 3k. These three alone is 8k, and then this is 10,800. And then if you really feel funny, you can just scale your Triantis for jokes. But yeah, that is the combo. That is how quickly you can get to the combo too. However, you will get hands where you're just like, why are my bricks glued to my hand? But that's just kind of the nature of playing cards like DPE and even Dragoon. Like if you want to play Dragoon over DPE for some ungodly reason, you'll definitely get those hands where like you'll think that your bricks are just glued to your hand, and you're just wondering why. So let me just sort myself out real quick, and then I'll send you guys on your way to become war criminals in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. Alright. Alright, I hope you guys all enjoyed this little combo video deck profile thing. I discovered this today, so it's just a little bit, I don't want to say new, because it definitely has been discovered before, but it's definitely something worth experimenting with. Again, if you want to not play with expulsion, you definitely have your branded banishment with snow. So I mean, you definitely still have your ways. But for now, I'm gonna experiment with this build with the full Go Second sideboard. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in another video.